Alright gang, it's time for us to get into the Craftsman LT1500 lawn mower. Not lawn tractor. Gotta go get a oil filter and an air filter. Carburetor's gonna come off. We're gonna go through the carburetor and put it in the sonic cleaner. So while I'm out and about running to get parts, I'm going to start cooking the ultrasonic cleaner so that it should be getting close to being up to temp by the time I get back out here, and we'll see what we get into. So I will see you guys in an instant, but it's going to be about an hour for me. Alright, I'm back from getting the oil filter and air filter for this MTD engine. That is what it is actually called, is an MTD engine. I think I remember Mike the tractor guy telling me that it was a what was it? Was it Tillotson or Lawson? One of the two, but just manufactured under the MTD name. So it's not a Tecumseh, and it's not a Briggs, and it's not a Kohler. It's MTD's very own iteration of an engine. So when we'll get the carb off, it'll be my first time messing with a carb like that, so we'll both learn about that one and getting ready to drain the oil on it right after lunch. So hang on, guys. Well, we're back and it's time to tear into it right after we see what the Super Wrench Garage had to send Zippo. We have a Maryland plate. I want to thank him very much. He also included a real nice note. And he's a pharmacist. I think it's pretty cool. He turns wrenches and he's a pharmacist. So I am trying to fold the letter here so that you guys won't see. Let you guys read that. And there's something on the back, but it just says that he would like for me to not show the business card, which is perfectly understandable. So there we go. Matt, thank you very, very, very much from the Super Wrench Garage. Now let's tear into this. We've got to pull the blower housing off so that we can get to the carburetor and get the carburetor off of there. So I'll kick you guys back on as soon as I get that sucker off. Alright, the first part was easy enough. Just a matter of loosening up a couple of 12 millimeter bolts, and then taking 3 acorn nuts off and one 10 millimeter here. Got 2 more 10 millimeters here hanging on to the intake boot. There we go. Let me go ahead and get the little parts bin down here. I've got, looks like a gas return here, or just a vent for the fuel tank. Something new I have not seen. And then crankcase PCV vent. Should be able to slide the whole thing off and just leave that stuff dangling to get to the carburetor. We'll see if that's the case. Yep, easy peasy. Bend that down out of the way, and we maintained our gasket there. Got a little bit of junk on the carburetor that I want to blow off before pulling the carburetor off. So hang on, I've got to plug everything in. Alright, let's close that choke. Appears to be an manual choke. You push the throttle all the way up to activate it. That worked out pretty good. Okay, now it just looks like I don't think I need to take the studs out. I may need to, but I don't think I do. Alright, as you guys can see, I just went ahead and did the jam nut thing, ran them off with the impact to get them out. So we are loose on both sides. Now I can come in and release the throttle linkage. Or should we release the... There we go. That's the throttle. Release the choke last. Oh, choke came off. Alright. Well guys, did you see where the choke was connected to? Let's see. Let's move this. Oh, I see. Okay. That's where it was connected. Right there. Alright. I want it to stay there. And now it's finally time to go over to the workbench so we can tear that sucker apart and stick it in the parts cleaner. I am going to go over to the parts, the ultrasonic. I was going to do the ultrasonic cleaner first. I'm going to go to the parts washer for. See, I never would have got that off. There's another screw on the back. I'm going to go to the parts washer first, just get all this crap off of here, and then we'll go to the ultrasonic cleaner. So stay tuned. Alright gang, let me get the microphone just a little better. There we go. I noticed I was going left and right on the microphone speakers with the last video on the Troy belt, trying to avoid that. I just took it over to the parts washer, gave it a little cleaning, and we're going to go Bruce Pender style here. And I looked at the screws on the bottom that are holding the fuel shutoff solenoid, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but if you look close enough, you can see a dot. You see that dot? JIS screws on a Huayai Huayai carburetor. Never heard of such an animal. So I'm going to pop that fuel solenoid off first. Maybe. Hang on. I've got to get it out of view so I can get a good grip on it. There's one. Let me get the other one loosened up. Oh, they sure are on there good. Right tool for the right job. JIS. When you've got a dot on your screw, it's a JIS. Just know that. Let me grab another parts bin here real quick. And I am going to blow through the passages after I get things apart. And I'm also going to use my, here, we're getting all the fuel out of there now. There's plenty of fuel in there. My guess is it's just got a slight clog, which was causing the issue. Tell you what the issue is if I didn't already tell you. And the solenoid has been working just fine. It's a little dirty on the end, as you can see. Ethanol just wreaks havoc on everything. Brilliant, our fine government. Just brilliant. And I grabbed this, and it's not, it is a 14. I have to use a socket though to get the fuel bowl off. I don't really need to take that off, but I can go ahead and take it off, I guess, and drain the rest of the fuel out. Plus, just to have it out of there, since we are going to be putting it in the parts washer. And I don't know. Yeah, that's got to come off before I can separate the fuel bowl from the carburetor. So that's a what? It's a 14 millimeter socket. got it. Got my tool cart right next to me here. See if we can get this one broke loose without too much of an issue. Get a hold of it with this. I got to get it out of view again so I can, because I'm kind of reaching out so you guys can see what's going on. So let me get it in a position where I've got some leverage. I grabbed the wrong tool. There we go. Okay. Crack loose. Crack loose, crack loose. Ooh, that's on there. It is really on there. There we go. Fought me. That's okay. So I've never heard of this kind of carburetor, but engines all run the same. You got to have gas, fire, and spark. And this is a jet. We've got a bunch of holes down here. So our temperature on the parts cleaner, oh, that came off easy. Temperature on the parts cleaner is 55 Celsius. I have it set at 60, but 55 is just fine. And so that I don't burn my fenders, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the basket out here. Put that right here so you guys can see it. And this right here, this little guy, is just a steeping basket. You can get them in, this is a medium size, you can get them in small, and you can get them in large. And the meshes on them is so fine that small parts, it's just perfect for small parts. And it locks, it's got this little slide lock here that locks it in place. I really like them, so I'll set that there. We'll go ahead and drop our, where'd our jet go? Our jet's not going to fall through the mesh, or through the wire basket. We'll go ahead and put it there anyway. And we'll put the drain bolt there. Looking down in the bowl, it does not look bad at all. Nice and clean. So what the issue was, I am not positive. Let's go ahead and pull the float and the needle out. Needle will go in our tiny little mesh steeping basket. Got our float, and it's snapped in there with a spring. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can show you. There's a spring underneath. You might be able to see it. When you push it, it spring loads, and it's snapped into place. And I'm going to go ahead and pop it out of its saddle. I'm probably going to regret it. Yeah, I would regret it, because getting that back in place would be difficult. I don't think it's going to fall off, and even if it does, it's not going to really go anywhere very far. But we will make sure that our float is good and get it good and clean. Now let's take a look down here. We do have a main jet that we can pop out, so we're going to do that. And then I'm going to take some air real quick and just blow through the passages, make sure that all of my passages are clear. The crankcase vent over here on this side. Gasket appears to be fine. We can stick that in there. It's a rubber gasket. It'll be fine in that awesome solution. Spring-loaded choke plate. Let's see if we've got... Okay. Right here, right there, it's kind of hard to see, is what appears to be an idle circuit screw, but there is no way to get that sucker out of there because it's just threads right down. See if we can get some light on it so you can see it a little better. looking right here. Let me turn the camera up so you can see it. You're looking right there. Maybe you can already see the threads, but there's threads on that. And how they got that sucker in there is beyond me. Because it comes in and it comes through. You can see just the bitter end of it, right? Maybe, right? Right there. Right at the 6 o'clock position. Isn't that crazy? No way to take it out. There is quite a bit of, or not quite a bit, but a little bit of oxidization deep down in there. If you guys look, you can see maybe a little bit of crusty going on inside there. So some of that oxidization may have gotten in the way. But we're going to blow the passages out here real quick, and then we've got to get that jet out. Let's see if this driver is going to work. That one works. It's a little sloppy. Let's try the other one. Don't be too big. That one's just barely going in the slot. Let's see. I'll give it one attempt. Hey. Worked. Alright. Get her out. Come on. Get out. There you are. Now we'll blow everything out. I'm going to set those screwdrivers down in that mess. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see through it or not. We'll try to get just the right angle for you. There. But that jet is clear. The jet will go in the basket. Boy, if only I had some air right here next to me. That would just be awesome. Haha, I do. Okay, cover your eyes, guys. Try not to blow this on my, I don't know if you can see, but right here is my phone, which I'm watching you guys on, or I'm watching myself on. No, I'm not vain. I just want to make sure everything's in the picture. Okay, I want to get to that idle circuit there and blow through it just gently, make sure it's clear. Yeah, I feel it blowing out down here. It's blowing out right here. So good. We'll see if this one's clear. Clear? Alright. Well, we know that we're getting fuel into it, but we'll still a little blow into there, and then lastly into the main jet. Good. Now our 50-50 mix of awesome and water is in, and it is just about up to temperature. What are we at? We're at 53. I have it set at 60. I think I already mentioned that. It was at 55 before I opened the lid. All I'm doing now is just closing this up. And it's got a little hook on it. Sorry, all I'm doing is closing the basket, and it's got a little hook. So I'll stick that hook right on the basket, set the basket in there, and we're going to cook it for 20 minutes. So while that's cooking, we go ahead. I'll wait to start it. As per Bruce, I'm going to turn the heat off before turning the sonic cleaner on. Whoops. No, I'm not. Okay, there we go. The heat turned itself off, so I didn't even have to touch it. As soon as I touched that button, the heat shut off on its own. So, hi guys. We're going to let that stew for a little bit. I'm going to do a couple other things over on the tractor. All I'm doing is just cleaning the broccoli out from underneath of it. And this thing has got some serious broccoli. It almost looks like the cartel has been around and has their stash under here. I'll give you guys, and that is mainly caused by putting the deck too low and very dull blades. So we've got the same kind of deck obviously that we had on the Troy-Bilt. We're going to get in there. I'm going to clean everything out, but I'm going to do that off camera. No need to see that. And then the blades are silly dull, so I'm going to pop the blades off. Hopefully I'm going to pop the blades off if the nuts come off, and get those sharpened up. You guys, I have other sharpening videos. You can just go to my channel and search blade sharpening. But let me get this broccoli off of here. I'll see you guys in just a minute. It probably doesn't look like much, but there's an awful lot of broccoli under that thing. We got the blades sharpened up. Got us a good edge on the blades now. And now back over to the carburetor. We'll get it put back together. It's just reverse of how we took it apart, right? So let's get our parts out of the parts washer. Definitely warm. Everything looks real good, doesn't it? That awesome does it, well, without sounding cliche, an awesome job. Alright, let's get these parts out of the basket. Sure hope I'm still recording. Sound. I do need to move the microphone every time I change positions. It's a habit from having that other Rode Micro. This one I really don't have changed position, but it still helps. Alright, here we've got our fuel bowl nut, our fuel bowl drain nut, our jet, our float pin. Here's our float. I'm just shaking it, make sure there's no liquid in there, and there is not, which is awesome. Set that down. And I had questions about my parts washer, if I clean the parts off thoroughly with any kind of a solvent or soap and water or anything like that after I'm done using the parts washer. And the short answer to that is no, I don't need to. The parts are clean. They do not come out with an oily residue. So why do it? I just blow them off and I'm done. Alright. Let's get the pan wiped down just a little bit. Like I said, doing this Bruce Pender style. Yeah, buddy. I hope you guys are seeing everything I'm doing. Are you? Yeah, I guess you are pretty much, huh? I don't have my phone on to see what's going on. I better turn it on so that I'm sure I'm staying in view. There we go. Now you guys can see what I see. Do you see what I see? Alright, we have to get our jet in. First we're going to use a little compressed air and just blow all these passages out. Don't want to get it in your face. Watch your eyes. Good. And the mix that I use in the parts washer is biodegradable. So, hang on. Out of view. So there is no real reason for me to rinse it off with rubbing alcohol or mineral spirits or anything like that. So, oh goodness, that's my woman saying howdy. You guys want to say hi back? I know you guys enjoy hearing from her over in the comments on the Sunday chats. I'm just setting this in there to make sure it didn't expand any, and it does not look like it did, so that's good. Yep, nope, didn't expand. If anything, it shrunk. Not supposed to shrink. Get in there, get in that groove. Should I fight that in a minute when I'm ready to put the fuel bowl on? No, I want it to stay there. Alright, I'll take your guys' word for it and fight with it later. Let's blow the jet out. We can still see good and clear through the jet. Alright, let's stick that sucker back in there. And we did use the larger of the two drivers. Come on. Always go backwards first to line your threads up, especially with dissimilar metals like brass and aluminum. That's tight. Okay, what's next? Well, I've actually got to stretch this out just a little bit. I'll see if I can't stretch it out just a hair so that it stays stretched out long enough for me to get that fuel bowl on there. You gonna stay stretched out? Hey, that worked. I was a little leery of doing that, but it worked. So, okay, now we'll get the float and needle, which are one unit. Set it in place. Get our pin. Slide it through. We're going to do the old blow test to make sure that everything is working the way that it should out of camera, but I'm going to blow into it with it down, then I'm going to turn it over and blow into it that way. Make sure I've got no blow and blow. No blow. Blow. Good. Okay, that's good. Now, fuel bowl. And the fuel bowl orientation was, let me get the front of the carburetor. That's the front of the carburetor right there, just like that. And it was on just like this, which would not really make a whole lot of sense. Does it? It's almost like it was on backwards. No, yeah, I guess it needs to clear here, right? So the way that it was on, the drain was pointing towards the front of the engine, so that right there would be correct. Just make sure, I'm just going to be anal about it and square this flange with that flange, just because. There we go. And like, you know, you guys saw me, we got everything blown out except for this. Let's get it. Let's get it. Good. Screw it down. I'm starting to get tired, so fortunately, all I have to do once I set it on the, once I get the carburetor on and get the engine remounted to the frame, is put the deflector on, the muffler deflector, heat shield, and then bolt the engine down. And that was the easiest way to do it. Now we can go ahead and mount you. And you were on there like that with the wire pointing towards the back of the tractor. Kind of helps to try to remember that stuff. Can be important. Just starting that one by hand. Now we'll get our JIS screwdriver. I'm not going to run it all the way down, I'm just going to secure it a little bit. Let's get the other screw in there. Get it started where you guys can't see what I'm doing. And just to err on the side of caution, as I tighten these down, I'm going to go side to side, side to side, side to side. I have something in those threads. Something's in the threads, so I got to blow those thread holes out. And possibly chase it with a tap. I hope not, but see what we got in there. Oh yeah, noise alert. I'm going to run that screw in without any backfire on there. Make sure it's going to screw in okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're good. Whatever was obstructing it is no longer obstructing it. So again, this is the air filter side of the carburetor. This is the front of the engine, and this was mounted with the wire facing towards the back of the engine. See how nice JIS screws fit on screwdrivers? That's not a magnetic screwdriver. Going good, going good. Back it down to just where the lock washer wants to start compressing, and just go back and forth a little at a time. There's an O-ring at the base of the anti-backfire solenoid, and they were in there pretty tight, so we'll get a hold of it. I mean, those JIS screws are wonderful. It's holding the whole carburetor. Give them a pretty good torque down there at the end. Alright, there we go. We're set. Let's get back over to the tractor. I'm just going to throw this back on. You know, same assembly as disassembly, just in reverse. And we're going to button things up, fire it up, take it out in the yard, and make sure it's not going to stall going up a hill. That's what the issue was. So hang on. Alright gang, pardon the wind if you can hear it, but we're going to go up this grade here. I'm sitting just about level with it, and I'll stand alongside of the tractor and let you see that it does run on an incline. Hang on. So that's what the major malfunction was, and then did a general service. So another job done. Alright gang, battery's getting ready to die. I've got me a mess to clean up. And I'm quitting while I'm ahead of the game. I've been out here for 4 hours. Got the old Craftsman all done up. I'm ready to go back home. New battery, sharpened blades, rebuilt carburetor, oil change, air filter, new oil filter. What else did I do? Lubricated everything front to back, cleaned all the broccoli out from underneath the deck, that kind of thing. So, you guys said you liked the longer videos. There you go. We'll see you guys on the next one. If you liked it, right down there, you can subscribe. Over here is a random video, and over here is my latest upload. See you on the next one.